Okay. Going live. Perfect, perfect. Shh, I'm a little early. I'm 5 minutes early, guys. I gotta promote the stream. I gotta promote the stream. Oh my goodness. This is exciting. No one come in here yet. No one come in here yet. No one come in here. I better not get anyone in here yet. That'd be so embarrassing for me. Well, I'm still promoting my own stream. I don't know if it really is embarrassing. It just feels embarrassing, you know? I don't know how else to describe it. Um, live now. Live now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because it takes me like a few minutes to actually just like get this thing posted on my story, and that's how it goes sometimes. But it's all for the best in the end of at the end of the day. If you're just tuning in from YouTube, hello, welcome. My name is Jonah, also Jollyball. I do tutorials, advice, help live every week, and I'm excited to do this again a little bit later in the day this time. So hopefully we can get a few more people in here sticking around to get some volleyball help. That's how it usually goes, and that's how it usually stays. Sometimes we've gotten off track, but for the most part, we're pretty good about staying on volleyball questions. So with that being said, welcome if you're just joining us now. Feel free to always ask questions in the chat and all that stuff. I don't think we have anyone in here yet. And oh my God, I tried to click on my own stream and I got so many advertisements. So that is totally okay. That's usually how it goes. But oh my goodness, I got like 3 ads on my own. Why am I getting 3 ads on YouTube? That's abysmal. That's crazy, dude. Luckily they were skippable. But welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a little early today. We're technically starting at 5, so if you're here now, you're one of the first ones in here, which is so exciting. Super, super exciting. What else has been going on lately? I've been playing more open gyms as I've been kind of trying to get back into things, go on my outside hitter grind. So a lot more hitting lately, less libero, less setter. In fact, Jordan, who I play with on the channel often, he's getting into setting more. So trying to change things. Got some big tournaments coming up. Got a big video next week, which should be a lot of fun. And yeah, just chilling right now. I got my coach's board up. I got my drink. It is freaking hot. It's like 80 degrees here in San Diego. So that's how things go. Hopefully y'all can hear me, by the way, too. Mic settings should be good. And once I get the fancy stream stuff next week, that should be a lot of fun. I'll definitely take some time to set up so it looks more official than just my picture in the top left of the screen and then, of course, a court going. But yeah, trying out on a Wednesday this week. Wednesday is interesting. Usually I did it on Thursday, Friday. So hopefully a hump day is not as bad for the people watching. But yeah, no, I'm trying to get more into hitting. Hitting is so tough, man. I don't think I was ever taught how to hit. Maybe a little bit growing up, but feels like I'm relearning how to hit so much more lately, which is insane, which is crazy. Let me just check how the stream chat's going. Perfect. Couple people so far. That's awesome. And yeah, I think more people will be coming in the next 20, 30 minutes, which will be a lot of fun as I usually get flooded with a bunch of questions and then yap for like 2 hours as they all come in. So that is really, really fun stuff. I used to be this is actually crazy lore. And since no one's in here, maybe, I guess if you're watching the replay back, but I used to be a tour guide for my college for 4 years. So I had to yap for hours and hours and hours a day. Sometimes I would do like 3 to 5 tours in one day, and each tour is like an hour to an hour and a half. So it was just like 6 hours of just walking and yapping. So I can absolutely yap for a long time if I need to. Welcome if you're just joining us. We're doing volleyball help. What people usually do, they leave questions in the chat. And it could be anything about volleyball, positioning, general Q&A, whatever you want. We answer those live. I got my little coach's board up where I can go over things as if we were on a court to the best of my ability and just help people out that are struggling or just have any questions. So it's super cool. The last 2 have been super successful. This is the third ever stream, third ever. So that is really, really exciting. Still so fresh, under 10, under 5, under 4, crazy. Yeah, no, I used to do this on TikTok back when it was like 2020, 2021, dude, and there'd be like thousands of people in the stream on TikTok, and I was so surprised by that. And this is when I was just starting Jolly with my friend Joanne, and there'd be thousands and thousands of just comments coming in. And I'm not saying that in like a boastful type of way. I was just saying it was in TikTok back then was insane, the amount of engagement and people that were interested in volleyball. But honestly, 95% of them were just haiku questions, you know? They were just like, who's the best setter in haiku? Go. And then they would just argue with me in the chat for like hours. And that's how it went. Crazy on that end. But yeah, who else has been doing it lately? I don't think I've seen other people do many streams lately, but yeah, it's super fun to be starting it up and going for it again. I say this every time, but I truly miss just, I guess, streaming or just talking with people, because it's probably as close as I can get to talking with people. That's not just like the comment section where people are just grilling each other, which is always annoying. So in like the live chat, it's super cool where it's like, I can talk with you, you answer, I respond. It's like a FaceTime kind of call, which is really, really, really fun. But yeah, still new to YouTube live streaming. It seems pretty straightforward, but I need all the fancy stuff, man. I want all the fancy stuff. That would make things so much more fun. So much more fun. But yeah, as I wait for more people and more questions, I usually just chill. I kind of talk about myself. I can talk more volleyball. Sometimes I watch volleyball on the side, and that's totally okay. Totally okay too. But what is it? I'm in San Diego right now, and it's been like 80 degrees all week. It's been insane. In fact, like last week I was in Seattle and it was like 55, and then I was like, all right, we're chilling. We're just chilling now. And then I get back here and I had 3 jackets on coming back, and then I was sweating like a pig in the Uber ride back here, and I almost passed out. Genuinely. It was awful, and it was still like 11 p.m. It was crazy on that end. But yeah, weather's been crazy here. I don't know how it's been. I heard NorCal or Northern California has been crazy. I have some people from Texas, and they said it was over 100. So people are roasting alive out here. That's how it be lately. Holy crap. There's lots of fires going on too again. So classic California things. I got a video coming out tomorrow, which should be really fun. It is back at our local open gym. So it's good to be playing open gyms again. And people are always like sending comments to saying like asking where I am. I can't talk right now, where I'm going to be playing and things like that. So I'm finally taking a break from travel, and I'll be back kind of down here in California doing a bunch of tournaments for the summer. So that's how things usually go. And what's up, Bob God? Grass volleyball is good in the heat. Absolutely agree. I've played grass volleyball in like 100+ weather, and that has been brutal, where it's like you can barely like stay on the grass for a game, and then you have to go find some shade in the trees. But I think it's the perfect summer sport. For those that don't play grass volleyball, it's very popular. I know it's popular in the East Coast too, but especially in California, grass tournaments are like, there's multiple grass tournaments pretty much every single weekend for the most part. And they are probably my favorite. Grass is my favorite form of volleyball. And I think these tournaments are the most fun you can have playing volleyball, because it's usually, people take it seriously, but when you're not playing, people are just chilling in like lawn chairs. There's drinks going. People are drinking like iced teas. They're having picnics. There's music. Everyone brings their dogs. Everyone has a dog, and they're like the cutest things. So I'm just, after I get eliminated from a tournament, I'm just kind of hanging out and petting all the dogs. And it's the most fun you can have. But the competition is also really tough, and I think there's just so many good grass volleyball players. It's a great sport. I love grass. I don't know what other people's favorites are. Some people love beach. Some people love indoor. A lot of people just don't like grass, from what I say. But I will always be a grass believer. You know, I love grass volleyball. I'm merched out today too. There's just like my mom got me a little shirt for Christmas, so I was like, all right, I'm not gonna wear that to the open gyms because that feels so selfish. But I'll wear it for the live stream today because that would be funny. So it's unofficial, but I get to put my logo on a shirt, which is funny. So that's what I'm wearing today, but I'm going to be sweating by the end. At the end of this live stream, I'm telling you, once the clock hits 7, I will be sweating for sure. You're just going to see water just dripping down my face and whatnot. Welcome. If you're just joining us now, you're right on time. We just started. We literally just started. We started a couple minutes ago. So you're perfect timing. We got people asking questions in the chat, and I see Jenna in the chat. What's up, Jenna? How are you? Yes. Don't spoil the surprise for the video. Actually, no one's in here yet, so I can spoil it. But going back to AIM on Monday with the Dream Team, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see y'all, and see you too, Jenna. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's going to be a fun team. I don't know who else we're playing with. Maybe the great Gabe. No, I'm kidding. You're good, Jenna. You're good. That's so funny. Yeah, are we playing? So I assume we got Gabe, we got you, and any other fun characters we're playing with. I can find out my team in real time for the next video. Let me know who we're playing with. I think it will just be me coming up too. So I'll be driving up to OC to play some good volleyball. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Our team is so fun. Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, it's going to be such a fun team. And I don't even know half the players yet. So that's going to be great. Text you after you're done. Okay. Don't spoil. Okay. That's fair. That's very, very fair. This is going to be like Christmas for me too. It's going to be a big surprise. Like I can't wait to see and figure it out. But it's cool that you're at the beginning of the live stream. That's really awesome. Yeah. At least as far as the the shirt. Yeah. Repping this is unofficial, just one of one little Jolly Ball merch, but I got to rep it for the live stream. I think it's super fun. Yeah, usually by this time, like I've been in the last few streams, once I started, like people came in and I got blasted with volleyball questions, like for hours and hours. So this one's a lot more chill, which is kind of nice. I can rest my voice, even though I could yap for a long time regardless. Yeah. It's a lot chiller, which is really, really nice. And thanks again for the shirt. Yeah. I'm glad you like it. Just checking out the stream. Oh, sweet. Okay. Still got a couple people just coming in. That's awesome. Heck yeah. I should be one of those, like, have you ever seen those, whoever's in the chat watching right now, have you guys ever seen those TikTok / like Instagram streamers that have like some crazy contraption or like hook where they're like putting like rubber bands around a giant watermelon, or like they have like the giant like toy alligator with all the, like the thumbtacks and the teeth, you know what I'm talking about? And they're like baiting people to watch the live stream. I should turn into one of those people and just say, give me money and I'll do it. I'll actually do it. I'll do it. You ever seen those people, or am I just crazy? I feel like I've been seeing those people all over social media right now. And it's like the funniest thing to me. I think that's hilarious. Not in a good, like, I think it's awful, but it's kind of funny how the audacity of some people. Anyway, that's not volleyball related, but every time I stream, I just feel like one of those people. Just like, hey, I'm here. I'm doing it. Hopefully you guys aren't getting too many ads on the stream either. I try to minimize it this time, but I feel like I'm getting so many ads because I have it up on my phone to check the stream status. What's up? What is it? Is it Antoine? Oh, wait, how do you say this name? It's a French name, right? I was gonna say Antoine. I was like Antoine. How do you pronounce the name? What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I sound so silly trying to say something like that. It's probably not even that deep. How's it going? And welcome for the people just joining. Yeah, been very chill so far. Just started the stream a few minutes ago, and yeah, usually just answer questions and do volleyball advice. Hopefully my mic audio is good and you can hear me clearly too. So hopefully you guys are doing well. And yeah, let me know where you guys are tuning in from too. You don't have to dox yourself, but are you in US, California, out of state? Last few streams, we had someone from Indonesia. We had someone from Germany, Netherlands. No one from Asia yet, but yeah, it's probably opposite time period across the world. So that makes sense too. Yeah. This is what, stream 3. So yeah, I don't know what I eventually want to do with the streams. I think it would be really fun to eventually start streaming games / matches live where I'm at the tournament and everything's in real time. So that would be really, really, really cool. But I also want to make sure like it wouldn't get boring / like there'd be a lot of downtime. So I don't know if people would ever be interested in something like that, but that's something I've been thinking about. But I do like the tutorial stuff too. Sud America, my English is not very good. Totally fine. Yeah, that's Sud. I gotta look up what. Yeah, I wanna just so I know. Oh, got you. Okay, that's so sick. Because I've never heard it called that before, so I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. What's up, Julius? What is this program? This program is just a place, or the stream. What I've been doing with these streams, this is my third one. Basically, what usually happens is people ask questions / ask for advice for volleyball in the chat, and then I'll just give help, like tutorials, advice, any type of volleyball help at all, just live in real time. So if you have any questions on how to get better, how to improve volleyball, how to spike, how to set, how to hit, how to play defense, how to serve, we just go over questions, and I usually help people out. Oh, what is the website? Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I get a lot of questions on the stream usually, so I was like, you're just figuring out. This website is the tactical board for volleyball. So basically what that is a place where I could show, you can see, I don't know if you can see at the top, it's called Tactical Board Volleyball. And basically I can move you can see what's going on. I don't have to act like you don't know what's happening here. But it lets me do things in real time, so I can play with the ball and show how the players can move around. It's like a coach's board, and I can draw things on it too. I can draw fun little lines and squares and circles to talk about different points. But this is just the free version of Tactical Board. And it's been great for the last few streams. It's been really, really helpful lately. So I like it. But maybe I'll find a better program eventually. Or do some VR. Some VR would be really crazy. Become a VTuber. That'd be really fun. Sweet. We've got more people in. Welcome if you're coming in. We usually get some questions answered, volleyball advice, anything. I've yapped about my history before. I've yapped about everything. So feel free to do anything you want, say anything you want within reason, and I'll happily answer it or do the best I can as a volleyball player. Again, my name is Jonah. I run the Jollyball channel, and I've been playing volleyball for 15 years now. So crazy long time. I started especially when I was really, really young, and my dad would just take balls and then just spike them at me as hard as he could. And then I would just try to pass them. And that's how I got my start in elementary school. And then I finally joined the team when I was in middle school. I played club I played clubs since I was 11 till 18 years old. Played college. Then I've been playing after college, doing YouTube stuff. I've been playing a really, really long time. But this is kind of my way of coaching. So I think that's super cool. It's like my way of giving back. Would love to coach more. I've never coached a team before. I've never had the time. I've either worked a job or I've never had enough time to devote myself to coaching. So this is kind of fun. It's like I get to coach a little bit. And yes, ask as many questions as you want. Flood the comments with questions, anything. We don't have a volleyball question yet, so that gives even more incentive to put one in. And thank you guys. Yeah. Also, Julius, I love your profile picture. I love that video so much. That is like the OG volleyball fail video from the compilation. So yeah, that's a legendary video where that's from. Yeah, ask away. Ask any questions. And no pressure on that at all. I was actually very lucky the last streams. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but people were flooding with so many questions. So yeah, there's no shame in asking. But I am just here for the few hours. So if you just want to chill, just hang out, I'm just yapping. But that's one thing I need to learn how to do as like while I'm streaming too, I think, is when no one's asking anything and we're just chilling here, where there's just people watching and I'm just kind of hanging out, just kind of talk and yap and say random things, basically what to do with that time, because I don't want to be boring. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I just want this to be as helpful as possible. So, okay, there we go. Congrats. First question. Let's do it. So, do you think that a player who is 1.7 meters tall can excel in volleyball? And let me just do the. I have a gauge. I assume that's like 5'8", but let me see. 1.7 meters to. I'm American, so I don't know the imperial system. Let me see. 1.7 meters to feet. Oh, I was spot on. Oh, actually, no, it was 5'7". Okay, so do you think someone that's 1.7 meters or 5'7" can excel in volleyball? The answer is yes, but there's a bunch of caveats or a bunch of different things that can go along with that, right? One is position, the position that they play. Two is at the level that they're playing at, right? So, for instance, let's talk about just like a base level, like just open gyms, casual tournaments and fun, just like for fun, not playing like high level professional volleyball. Absolutely. 100%. There's so many people that are shorter than that are excelling at all these places, and they're amazing volleyball players. Where it starts to get really tough is once you get to professional volleyball, especially like from D1. And if you don't know what D1 in America, D1 is the highest level of volleyball that we have usually in college, are usually college aged players. So they're usually aged from like 18 to 22 years old. And these are probably the top athletes in that age range, right? So I think being that height in a higher level of D1 or pro, very, very hard. Very, very hard to excel. It's to use your word excel, be very, very hard to do so. And the big position is libero. Libero would be the one position where that doesn't really matter, and you could absolutely excel in that height. But if you want to be a middle, an outside, an opposite, a setter, and you're that tall, it's going to be extraordinarily hard. You either have to be very, very skilled, have a big vertical, and even then you're going to be held back by the height. And that's just the nature of the game. At pro level, a lot of people are, for positions, tend to be over, 2.2 meters, or like over 6'5", 6'6", very tall players for those hitting positions. So if you're shorter and you have to block those people or try to deal with that, you're going to struggle. And that's just the nature of it, unfortunately. But that's just a long-winded way of saying it really depends, but you can absolutely excel at any height in volleyball. Yeah, it's tough. The pro level is rough out there, right? So that's why it's pro, and that's how hard it is to compete there. Great question, though. Yeah, I do get that question a lot, because a lot of people do ask, hey, I'm 5'10". I want to be an outside hitter. Can I be a good outside hitter? And there's always different things you can focus on at different heights. For instance, if you're a lot shorter, but you want to play a more attacking role, it's very important to get really good at defense and passing, for instance. Like, that's going to be your main role. You're not going to be the main point scorer. That's just not how it's going to work if you have someone that's taller or stronger on your team. So there's always trade-off and exceptions and different ways you can focus on, different things you can focus on at different heights. And that's part of it. But it's unfortunate, right? Because it's kind of genetic. You can't control that, right? Just like in basketball or a lot of other sports too. Heck yeah, but thanks for the question. I appreciate you. Yeah, just I was talking earlier how hot it was, so I've been sweating already. And that one question already got me going, which is pretty fun. But yeah, feel free to keep chatting. We got some people just joining again, so I think people are coming in and out, and that's usually what happens, which is great. I love when people come in, ask a question, and they're like, "Thanks," and then maybe I'll never see them again, never talk to them, and that's the beauty of the internet. Lately, I've been trying to grow the Jolly channel to be a lot stronger because I feel like I love the videos that I'm posting, but I definitely want to play more and record and post just more in general. But of course, I do this all solo, so I don't want to burn myself out either. So doing something like a live stream is actually really nice. It's a really nice change of pace because it lets me connect with the people that watch Jolly or just stopping by and just talk volleyball, which is what I want to do at the end of the day. I hate when volleyball becomes like a chore or something that you're dreading. Yeah, it's just not as fun. I've been watching more of your videos because I think they've been more entertaining. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. I try to make it as entertaining as possible. Because the thing with volleyball or like sports YouTube in general, it's like you can only be so entertaining. And I could try to be as entertaining as possible, but it just depends on what happens, how it goes. But I think it's the people I play with that is the biggest thing, where it's like if I'm playing with really fun people, then the videos are just that much more fun regardless of what happens. Nothing cool necessarily has to happen. One person I play with is in the chat, or was in the chat earlier, Jenna. Like, she's amazing to play with because she's great vibes, and she's just so much fun, and that just makes the video just feel that much more fun in general when you play with cool people like that. Although as a setter, I kind of want to see full film to see the more overall trend stuff. Absolutely. So Julius, if you watch any of my tournament videos, that's pretty much the full film stuff. I know there's cuts in there, but what I usually do is I just cut out like missed serves, because like missed serves I think are boring to watch. So if you watch especially just tournament, not really open gyms I cut around a lot more and just make it more engaging. But if you want to watch tournament videos, you'll see a lot more there. And I think that has the highest level of play on my channel currently, versus just watching open gym videos. I might have a playlist for that on my channel. If not, I'll make one of just tournaments. And then, yeah, you can definitely see more overall stuff from there. And I think that's a great way to watch. But if you have ideas on how I can improve, or if you want to see something specific, let me know. I got you. This is what it's for just to get feedback too. Oh, thanks, Jenna. Because you're working currently. Got you. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for hanging in here. It's super cool. Yeah. But any feedback is always much appreciated, because I want to do more videos like that where it's more helpful, where it's not just me playing, and I can talk about more about what I'm doing or what I'm going for. So what I might start doing, I think this would be a great idea actually, is if I did more tournaments mic'd up, but not like the funny mic'd up, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, haha, joke. I'm like, sure, that's maybe a part of it, but where I'm like talking about what I'm doing in real time, to the best of my ability, or talk about a play or what needs to happen. I think that would be more beneficial for mic'd up content than just, banter or just like dumb talk during, which is fun in its own regard. Yeah, exactly. Explaining what's happening during the point, saying, hey, I was a little inside here and then the blocker was too far, whatever it is. Yeah, especially at a higher level, I think that'd be really interesting. Because I feel like I have all this IQ stuff that I think about in my head, but I just don't talk about. So people are like, why are you running over there? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? Like stuff like that, where I can actually explain what I am doing, right? Oh, man. But yeah, I've been grinding recently too. Sorry, I think I missed it earlier, but what level do you play at? I played just club pretty much my whole life. So I assume you're from US, and if not, so I played club level from middle school all the way to college, and then in college I just played club in college too. Didn't do D1 in college. I didn't even go for it at that point. I got super scared, and I was like, I feel like I might screw up my whole college experience if I just play sports or just try to play D1. So I kind of got scared and just played club. And that's also when COVID hit. So I stopped. I only got to play 1 year of club. I couldn't play any more than that. Oh, thanks, Jenna. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've played my whole life. And I've also played at the highest levels. I've played D1 open gym runs. I know that's not much to prove compared to someone that's played D1 the whole time, but I've played runs with just pro D1 players, or even just some VLA runs too. So I've played pretty much the highest level without being pro, right? Semi-pro level. Or when I compete in tournaments, a lot of those guys are D1 high level players. So yeah, I can definitely hang now, I think, more so than when I was a little kid. But I had to earn it. Yeah, I'm going to play the AVB Open for sure. It will be a lot of fun. I got to build a team. Thanks, Jen. I was thinking about playing VLA, but I want to spend more time with the channel. And not having a set schedule or tournaments allows me to kind of pick and choose what tournaments I get to go to. I haven't built it yet, Jenna, so we're working on it. We're currently working on it. But the person that runs the AVB account finally, no, we've talked for years now, or I don't know how long, but as soon as the AVB Open come out, they were like, all right, you're making a team this time, right? Almost mad that I didn't make one because I missed it last year. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm making a team. For sure. But as I was mentioning earlier, I'm growing up talking about the level of play. After COVID, once I kind of got out of college, or towards my last years of college, I started going to some crazy open gyms, most notably one called OC Resilient, which is familiar with lots of people from this area. And it was the highest level of volleyball I've ever played at that point. It was just all D1. Well, it was everyone. There's tons of different skill levels, but the highest courts were pro/D1 players that would just come constantly. And I would get my butt handed to me every day. I sucked. I was a good volleyball player at that time. I thought I was really good. But compared to those guys, I was a nobody. I got blocked by this 6'9" dude. Jenna, this is actually really good knowledge for you too. But the first time I ever got clipped was, in fact, by Charlie Belvin. And this is a good story, actually. This is the first time I've ever been embarrassed, embarrassed in volleyball. So I was playing outside hitter. I was libero. I'm a libero, right? And they're like, okay, we need you to play outside for this game. And I was like, I don't want to, because it's all the D1 pro players. I'm like, I'm gonna get destroyed. Sure enough, it's a few points in, the ball comes over. I'm on the outside. I'm on the pin. The ball comes over. It's a good serve. The pass is perfect. We get a perfect pass. The setter sees me. The setter sets me, and it's a pretty tight set, but a good set. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bounce this ball. And by bounce this ball, I mean I'm gonna hit the ball straight down so hard and just show off to everyone how good I am and the fact that I can hang here. So I see a hole in the block, or there's there's a gap in the block between the antenna and where I see the court, and the blocker, Charles, is putting a block up, but he's leaving the line beside him wide open. And I was like, oh, I'm going to destroy this ball. So I'm about to hit the ball, and as I'm hitting the ball, this dude, he moves his hand at the last second, just one of his hands to just over. Kind of like how you see in Haikyuu, with guest blocks, where they just slide their hands over. He moves just one hand over just to cover that line. I hit the ball so hard into his hand, it gets blocked straight down, like on the 1 foot line, and it like skies up to the ceiling. Thankfully, no one got it on video. No one got it on video, so I am safe. I am totally safe. But the whole gym went silent. There's like 2 courts going. Maybe all 3 courts were going. But everyone went silent. And he just kind of stared at me and then just looked and he walked back to the team. And I was like, oh, you suck. You suck. So I learned pretty quick what I can and can't do. But yeah, I got destroyed. So thank God no one was filming at the time. But now I know I know Charlie well. So yeah, he is absolutely one of the best blockers I've ever seen. Just the way he reads and presses is great. So it's so funny. But yeah, that's the first time I've ever been clipped, and I've definitely been made fun of at that gym so much. But over the years, I got way better playing at a level much higher than me, and then finally was able to hang more easily. And now I feel really comfortable. Hey, what's up? If you're just joining, we're doing some volleyball. Honestly, this has just been story time lately. So feel free to ask more volleyball questions. But if you're just joining us, yeah, we usually ask questions, advice, and go over different things. Hello, I'm Carissa's friend from New York. What's up, New York? You want to give her a shout out and say hi? Of course I can give her a shout out. Carissa's in Japan right now. These are all friends that I've played with in past Jolly-Ball videos, by the way, for reference. So if you watch my New York video where I go to New York to play all the New Yorkers in volleyball, Carissa is the libero there. So shout out Carissa. She's one of the best liberos I know. And she hangs with the dudes all the time at the men's level, which is really cool. What's up if you're just joining us? W's. Does this mean I can finally say W's in the chat? That sounds I hate the way I said that, but dude, I'm not going to say any more about that. I live in the East Coast, so there isn't much good volleyball where you live. Are you how far, like, do you know which area? Like, are you more like southern or northern? Because New York actually had really good volleyball, and I was very surprised. I was expecting it to not be as good, but that video, it was actually really good matches. Like, the people were very, like, the players were really good. Shout out VBLI. Oh, Maryland. Okay. I know there's some great players from Maryland that played D1, but I don't know much about the Maryland volleyball scene. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that. Do you currently play often, or is it just, do you have to travel to play? Is there a scene at all? Hopefully with the sport growing, there's more volleyball across the East Coast. That's one thing I'm very curious about. Yeah, because we've had people all across the country. And I know when I first started, there was like, volleyball was like embarrassing to, if you played volleyball, oh my gosh, you'd be made fun of. I got made fun of in school so much. Oh my God. This was like, yeah, from middle school to high school, like everyone made fun of me for playing volleyball, but now everyone's playing it. So I'm like, okay, now you think it's cool? Damn, but I love it. It's great that more people play. I'm lucky enough to be in one of them. Oh, that's super nice. Yeah, because I can imagine how hard it is if you're just not from like an area where there's anything going on. That must be so difficult. So I'm also lucky enough to be from California, and that sport was big enough in California, which was great. So yeah, it's I'm glad it's growing and that you are able to still play even if the level isn't as high. Do you play any grass or beach out there? I mean, beach might be tougher, but at least grass volleyball. I'm curious to know. I chat about you with Carissa, how fun your videos are. I play with her. Really would love to meet you. Want me to tell her you said hi? Absolutely. Yes. And that's super cool. I'm glad you think the videos are fun. Yeah, if you ever happen to be in California, always happy to meet someone. I'm very open about where I play and where I do all my volleyball at. So I've actually had people come out just to meet me, which has been super crazy. It's like surreal to think about to me that I'm like, oh, you know who I am. It's kind of a weird thought. I know it seems crazy, but it's a weird thought for me still, because I literally just make videos and then I see people comment. So it's weird to see people, and I mean that in the best way possible. I think it's really cool. So yeah, tell her I say hi. That's super awesome. And it's nice to meet you, at least virtually in the chat. And that's why I love live streams too. I can just chat with anyone, and it feels super more, or a lot more personal. And I've said that so many times. Oh my gosh, I've told so many like random lore stories here before. So who knows what'll come up with next. What did I tell last time? Oh yeah, I talked more about what was it? No, it was like how like volleyball was perceived in like high school, and it just sounds like old boomer talk, but it was a lot different. Now, oh my gosh, here's the biggest thing that I've realized now. Like this is a mini rant, but everyone, and this is totally okay. I will preface this by saying this is totally okay. But now every time you go to a volleyball gym, at least in California, if you go to a volleyball gym, everybody has a tripod. Pretty much like every court, there's usually a tripod there filming volleyball. And honestly, I think that's the coolest thing, that like a lot of people are just filming games now. But I just remember, excuse me, when I started doing this closer to 2020 for Jolly people would just like make fun of me for like setting up my tripod behind the court, and they're like, okay. And I'm like, no, I just want to watch myself play and just, post videos. It was like almost still like embarrassing, right? And I still kind of feel embarrassed like when it's kind of quiet in the gym and then you see me like open up like the fully max extended tripod to record the games, right? But now it seems like everyone has a tripod and everyone is posting volleyball clips and all this. And I think that's great. I think it will only grow the sport more, the more clips out there, because you see a lot more clips these days. All the funny stuff, usually a lot of cool clips that come out, and it's flattering. I think it's really cool. You just play high school, you don't got time to play club, but play beach and grass as much as I can over the summer. I'm not particularly good, and that's totally okay. Yeah, volleyball is growing, and it's great that you're playing and getting out there. And yeah, the more you play, the better you get. Honestly, I sucked for a really, really long time. Like what was it? Yeah, whatever the arc was when I play. And club was really helpful for that. So if you don't play club, yeah, you can only play as much as either high school or you can play outside of club, right? So the way you get good at volleyball is honestly just playing as much as possible, right? So it's good that you're playing as much as you can. Yeah, and I'm thankful that I did play club, because that allowed me to get so many more touches, where I would just play libero and they would just serve the ball and I would just pass or do serve receive for hours and hours every single day, for like, this would be 3 times a week, right? Just for hours. And my arms would be all red by the end of it. But now I got really good at serve receive, for instance. So yeah. Free coaching, you bet. You bet. I will coach as many people as I can, as are in the chat. And it's actually been really light on questions today, which has been cool. It's been a different type of stream, so I adapt on the fly. What's up, Levi? Of course I remember you from last stream. And you did go to the open gym. Turns out like half the gym were Williams Field, like a top 5 high school in Arizona. You did fine in the second set. Didn't really get a whole lot done in the first play, though, but that's because I didn't eat much. Yes. Okay, eating is so important. Oh my gosh. Every time I've played on an empty stomach, I've sucked, I feel like. So I always try to eat something before. But I'm glad you did fine in the second set. It's hard, but it's good that there's good players there, because that's only going to make you improve a lot better. Even if it does feel like you're sucking at the given time. I totally get it, right? Okay, I feel like a good question for this stream is, sorry, I just, the words started moving around for a second. What's the pre-tryout routine? Okay, so tryout, and I assume you mean, I thought you were just talking about just pre-play, but for a tryout, that's a little bit different, right? So there isn't much, I would say the pre-tryout routine, I think there's an important distinction here. So there's the before you do the tryouts, but I think what's even more important is how you behave during tryouts. And that's a really important thing. So pre-tryout routine is all mental. Everything is going to be all mental. And that's what the biggest difference I think in tryouts are when it comes to people that make it and do well in tryouts compared to people that don't do well in tryouts. So what I do for a pre-tryout routine is I eat good food like an hour before, something nice and filling. I usually eat like a banana, like peanut butter and toast, or just stuff that is like, it's going to fill you, but you're not eating like bean and cheese burritos or like crazy things that's going to make your stomach act up. Just eat something stable. Make sure your body feels good. Make sure you're stretched, rested, you have water, just all the basic things so you don't have to worry about that when you're at tryouts, right? But mentally, you have to mentally prepare for tryouts. And here's the two biggest tips I give to people that are doing tryouts. And I think this is important for both before tryouts and during tryouts, right? So the first one is mistake management. So mistake management is if you screw up in tryouts, you make a bad mistake, doesn't look good, how fast can you shake that off and just worry about the next play? A lot of people, if they feel like they're not doing well in tryouts, like they make a mistake, they start to just mentally think, crap, they're watching me, I'm making a mistake, I suck, I got to do better. And then they try to do too much the next time, and then they keep sucking, if that makes sense. So you want to control how much you can stabilize yourself after a mistake. So if you make a mistake, okay, you made a mistake, it's all good, mistakes happen, but I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I know how to do. I am not going to worry as much about I have to impress people now. You don't want to try to impress people per se. You don't want to try to hit the hardest ball you can, make the craziest pass. And that leads into the second point of tryouts is do the basic things extremely well. So passing, setting, hitting, whatever position you're going for. If you're a libero, don't worry about the crazy digs. Crazy digs, it doesn't matter. If you get a crazy dig, that's great. But I just did the UC Irvine tryouts last year to pick the UCI team. There was liberos that had crazy digs, didn't pick a single one of them because they could not pass a free ball to save their life. It was awful. Of course, I'm not going to name names, and that sounds very blunt, but there's this, I remember this one dude, he was very cocky, and that's, I guess, a third point too. But to keep with the second point going, there's this dude that was a little bit more cocky. He made a phenomenal dig, probably the dig of his career, where it was a perfect dig, hard hit, hits his fist perfectly, somehow gets it up right to the setter, and then he starts to actually yell at his teammates and kind of get a big head later in the tryout. And I noticed that, and I was like, I do not want to pick him for the team if that's how he's going to treat teammates. So again, that's a side point. Be nice, be respectful, and respect the teammates and have a good and do a good job on that end. But the biggest one is you don't need to impress. You don't need to do anything crazy. Do the basic things well. And that is a very important tryout point during tryouts. So the mental and doing the basics well. You don't need to do anything crazy. And I truly mean that. Great question, though. What position do you play? Oh, sweet. Jordan, can you help me figure out where I should be standing on the court as a front row pin? I feel like I'm always so late to blocks. Absolutely. So we're going to say, are you ready for this? You're going to be number 3. This is you. Where do you want to stand for blocks when the other team has the ball? So, setters, we're drawing things now. Setter's here. We're going to say the setter's back row, assuming, and then this guy's hitting over here. Middle's here. Okay. Obviously, if the setter's front row, you'd be in a kind of different spot to watch the dump there. But setter's coming in, and then these guys are all ready to attack. Okay. So if the middle's here and the opposite's here, where do we want to block? The biggest thing I would like to do is I would probably position yourself most likely kind of right along with the setter right here. This can vary depending on how much ground you can cover as a blocker. So I'm someone that's pretty lengthy, like I have long legs. So I tend to stand a little bit closer to here because I know I have enough time to make it to the opposite in case the ball gets set there. But if you have a problem where you're a little late, I'd recommend cheating a little bit more towards the opposite on this side. And you can even just mark the opposite all the way if you want to. But there's a couple of reasons why you might not want to do that. First one is I like to stand close at first because if the setter sets the middle and I'm watching, ball setter, ball hitter, I can immediately take a step in and jump to help the middle block this ball, right? But if you feel like you're still getting beat on this person over here, yeah, it's okay to take a little step over here and just mark this opposite hitter, especially if they're a good opposite hitter. The only reason I say you don't want to go all the way there is because if you like to swing block, which means almost like taking an approach into your block, you want to have enough space to do that properly. So if you feel like, I guess you're always late to blocks, one could be your positioning, where maybe just stand a little closer to the opposite just to be ready so you don't feel as late. The other thing you can do is focus on your eye work, which is ball setter, ball hitter. So I feel like a lot of people kind of just watch the ball, and then by the time they see the ball go, they're not watching the hitters at all, and the hitters are already there. They're going to be late every time. So focus on your eye work. As soon as the setter's about to set the ball, look where the hitters are. Look where your hitter is. Is this opposite coming in really early and running something faster? Is this middle pushing out here? Because if you see the middle already running out here, for instance, you don't need to stay over here. There's nothing you can do unless you're going to try to block over there. That doesn't make any sense. You can already just cheat to the opposite, right? So it's all about the eye work is one thing, but also if you feel like you're late, it's okay to cheat a little bit and take a step and just guard your hitter and just be one-on-one. You don't need to always get 2 blocks up on the middle to help out, if that makes sense. Let me know if you wanted me to discuss more. It's more advanced, the more I can go really more advanced into it, but that's a good starting point. I'm not part of Digma. I'm currently based in Southern California. I don't know if Digma is based in like the Bay Area, because I know Tyler is from the Bay Area, but no, I am not affiliated with them. Okay, next question. How do you successfully run an X play as an outside? That's a great question. So here are the keys to success, because no one really knows how to run an X properly. All right, you ready for this? This is you. All right, Levi, you're number 3 right here. You're right here. Okay, you're right here. Okay, I'm not going to say it any longer. So how do we run an X? Okay, so let's say the setter is setting. We want to run an X. So for those that don't know, what is an X? So an X is when the outside and the middle kind of cross. They cross like an X. If I can do the draw line. So the middle is going to approach here to make an attack at the 3 position to hit a 3 ball. And then the outside is going to cross to hit down the middle of the court. And as you can see, it makes an X. So how do we run this properly, right? Why do we want to run this? So the reason you run an X, it's a deception play. And that's a very important thing to remember. You're not just running an X so you can hit out the middle. That's not the point of the play. So what you want to happen is you want the middle to come in first as the set's coming in, and you want this middle to track them. So the whole point of the X is to fool both the blockers here. So by the time this middle is jumping, when the setter sets the X, you're running in to hit that middle play. But how do we do this effectively, right? So this is the important part, because you can't just do this. And this is where a lot of people get the X wrong, and I think why it doesn't work for a lot of people. Because when you do it right, it's like a free swing. The middle is going to be like, oh crap, it's not going here, and then try to get over back to the middle of the court. So first step to running the X, you're going to take an approach almost normally. So as soon as the pass comes in, ball is passed. Let's say you're passing here. We'll do a regular rotation. Thanks for your patience. So the ball is passed to the setter. You're going to go and approach outside the court as you normally would. Remember, it's a deception play, okay? So you need to act like you're hitting from your usual spot. And that's the biggest problem most people get wrong, is a lot of people kind of just approach right here, and then it already causes the opposite to kind of pull in the middle. And even if the middle comes out here, when you get set, both players are going to be on you. It's going to be a lot harder to fool the other players at this point. So you want to approach out here as much as possible, right? And then I can put the middle back in, back right here. So you approach outside. This middle, the next thing you want to do is you want to delay your approach, okay? So the middle should already be doing their approach. Wait, you want to wait. Be patient. You don't need to start creeping to the middle, because again, it's the same thing. If you start creeping to the middle before the middle even like does their approach, this person's going to see that and they're going to cut in. This is really advanced volleyball, by the way, so apologies if it's a lot of bells and whistles right now. So wait. You want to wait on it. So when's a good time to wait? You want to wait till the middle is almost jumping pretty much in their approach, almost like already jumping in the air. And you're kind of coming in slow, but you're not doing your full approach yet. You're kind of waiting on it. And as soon as that middle is about to jump, assuming this middle is on them, that's when you want to dive inside. You're waiting, the middle jumps, then you dive inside. So that is the biggest way to run the X. The middle's running the 3, you wait, then the ball is set. And it's usually around a 2 ball, and then you come in and make the play. And when you wait 2, you won't collide with the middle, because if you come in too early, you're going to run into each other, right? So that's also no good. So again, be patient, let the middle run the play to the 3, and then peel in as soon as you can, right? It can be a really fast play coming into the center, but the slower you are at the beginning, the better. And that's how you get better at deception. And then, yeah, you can be able to move fast to take the fast approach inside. But it's hard to explain on a board without showing people in a gym. So maybe I can do like a tutorial series on how to run a good X from the outside position. But that's the basis of it. Remember, be patient and approach outside the court. And of course, communicate to the setter that you're running the X so your setter knows what's going on. And if you do it properly, you're going to be coming in here, middle's going, the middle is about to jump, and then you come inside, and then this middle's like, oh no, I can't get there. And then bang, you smack it. That's basically the X. You want to be patient, let your middle go first. You never want to go before your middle. And that's how you do it. You can also do this as an opposite hitter too, from the back, and it's the same thing. Yeah, I think that's a thing that a lot of players don't know as well. There's also a reverse X with the middle. This is really, really advanced. But another thing you can run if the setter's back row, so the setter's about to set the ball, and you're the opposite, is the middle will come in for a back one right here. So then this middle is going to be like, oh crap, and this outside, they're going to set the middle. This guy's out here, and then the setter sets the middle of the court, and then this guy, of course, comes in to hit from the middle from this way too. So it's kind of like a reverse X. We call this a back X. I do the pinky cross. Some people can do this really well, especially if you're a lefty. Ooh, this is a dirty play. There's so many trick plays in volleyball that I think are so effective that a lot of people don't do. So that's great as well. Another one is like what Taylor Crabb does. I'm just having fun now, where they come in like this, and then right when they're about to jump, they go back to the outside just to fool the opposite. So the ball gets set out there. So they're like, psych, and then they go back out there to hit. That's another one. So there's so many trick plays you can do in volleyball, but that's the form of an X. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a lot to try to explain, but hopefully that helps out a little bit. Being patient and approaching outside the court. Got the sticker on the water bottle too. Gotta save my voice now. You're very welcome. I just saw the thank you, King. Can I react? No, I don't know if I can react. I'll react another time. Okay, another question coming in. What are your thoughts about playing against lefties? Are there things you like when playing with them and things you have to think about specifically? Playing against lefties, it really depends what position they're playing, but assuming that lefties are playing on the opposite, we can just talk about the quick different spots of lefties. Because that's a really good question that I feel like a lot of people do not talk about, something that I wouldn't even think about to talk about as a topic. Okay, playing against lefties is tough unless they're an opposite. If they're an opposite hitter, the biggest thing when playing against lefties is you want to line up further across the court. So if an opposite hitter is a right-hander, you're going to want to line up right here on the block, right? You're going to line up right on their hitting arm. But if they're a lefty, they have a lot more room to hit the ball or to hit the ball. So you're going to want to line up more inside the court to compensate for where they're hitting the ball. Their left arm which is the one hitting. So that's an important rule of thumb for opposite. Opposite setters are dangerous. When you have a lefty setter, assuming that they can attack the ball on two, that makes them that much more dangerous, and you should be jumping with the setter when they're front row a lot more often. So setter dumps are going to be a lot more dangerous when they're left-handed because they have that option to hit the ball hard on two a lot, and that's something really important to think about. This is where it gets weird. Those are the main two positions that are usually lefties that are really effective. Middle lefts are really weird because the ball is being set quickly in the middle of the court and they're hitting with their left hand. So you have to delay your jump as a blocker or delay your defense because the ball needs to travel around them before they hit it with their left hand. It's not going to be as quick. It's impossible to be as quick because the ball has to go across their body before they can hit it. And this is the same if there's a lefty on the outside too. So knowing this, you have to realize, wait, I should not jump as quick as I normally do because they're not going to be able to hit it as fast unless you see their approach and they're coming in early or something weird. You can adjust to that on the fly. But general rule of thumb, if it's going across their body, you want to wait a little bit longer before blocking, just a split second longer. Otherwise, you're going to be too early and it's going to go around you. And again, you want to line up a little bit differently on their arms. So the other important thing to think about, and the final thing I'll say about lefties, is if they're playing outside or even middle, they have a different shot range too. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to hit the ball down the line. So if they do hit the ball down the line, of course, we got someone watching that, but they're probably going to hit the ball a lot sharper than a righty would on the outside position, just because they can cut the ball and shape it a little bit easier with their left hand on the cut side. So a righty would probably hit this cut, for instance, let me draw it out. Like a righty could probably hit a sharp cut, but it's not going to be as fast or hard, versus a lefty will probably hit a sharper cut on the outside shot. So as a libero or outside two, it's important to realize this. Oh, it's a lefty. I'm going to play a little bit tighter to the net or like a little bit sharper defense. And instead of playing defense here, I might take a step in and play defense here to compensate for the sharp cut on the lefty on the outside. And same with the middle. Depending on where the blocker is, they have a different shot range that you have to figure out where it is and adjust your defense accordingly. It's really tough, but you start to figure out what people can and can't do the more you play. So very important. And anyone, if you're just lurking in the chat, totally fine. What's up? Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, anyone's more than welcome to ask questions and ask for advice or anything. No harm, any level, beginner, intermediate, advanced. We're talking about a few more advanced tips right now, but I've gotten questions on how do I serve a float serve, or where do I position myself? How do I approach? So you're more than welcome to ask about anything. I talk about all levels of volleyball. I'm not just an advanced volleyball like schemer, but I give tips for any level that I feel like a lot of people do not give tips for, which is, I think, super helpful. I feel like people refuse to talk about certain things, and I think it's nice to talk about all aspects of the game. And I swear I'm not being egotistic there. I'm trying to just be as realistic as possible. I promise. Heck yeah, some more questions come in. Levi and Jibra, I see you guys. So, how do you score on the BIC? Yes, there's actually three ways to score on the BIC, right? So for those that don't know, the BIC is short for back row quick, okay? And I heard this before. It just clicked my mind. I'm not sure. Like someone said, maybe it was Ariel that said it's like a BIC lighter because it's so quick. You're like flicking it. But I thought BIC was just short, like an abbreviation for back row quick. So I don't know what's true, what's not. But this is what the BIC is. So a BIC is the back row attack when this guy comes to hit the back row, but it's nice and quick. It's really fast. The setter sets the back row nice and quick, and it should leave a gap right here in the blockers to hit the ball down. So the way you score off a BIC, there's two ways you score right here. One, these guys are playing defense, obviously. you hit it in one of the gaps here. Assuming if the middle's blocking, that's one thing. But you want to try to aim for the gaps in the defense. So if the defense is playing 3 back right here, one way to score is to try to hit between those gaps, because they won't have enough time to play defense in those gaps. So aiming for those corners is the best way to score off the back row quick. And that's where 99% of pro players try to hit the back row quick. Unless they see a blocker here, then they, might go sharper or a different spot, right? But that's just the general rule of thumb. The only other spot you might want to hit is a tip or a roll shot right over into the pot, or one of these spots right here. So I know there's a lot going on the screen right now, but to make things simpler, I'll just use the circles and not the lines. Tipping it short, tipping it short right over the block is a great help, because you can hit any of those spots and the defense won't be able to get it in time. Or hitting those deep corners on the court, best places to hit the bic. Okay. Of course, it gets more convoluted, but you just want to hit the ball hard. Ideally, if you're not tipping, put some pace on it. Hit it hard. The whole point is to just have a strong attack from the back row where these guys can't really get to it in time. And that's why you don't run a play like that at lower levels, because it's basically useless. You have a better chance of setting someone in the front of the court versus trying to have someone try to hit a back row attack that's not very strong. But yeah, that's the general thumb how to score. That's a great question. What are you doing for fun outside of volleyball? Great question. I do a lot of creative work outside of volleyball, and that's what I do for fun. So I love making, I make movies, I do music, music production, music videos, a lot of work on the creative side. So if there's anything that involves creativity, that involves film or music, I'm probably doing it. And that's also how I make my money outside of volleyball. I'll do music production, artist stuff, or music videos / short film work. Or I'm in LA helping out on set somewhere in a random place. Pretty fun stuff. I enjoy it. It's really fulfilling for me, and I love just doing creative stuff, just like volleyball. But yeah, great question. Also, traveling is always fun too. Okay, we got some great questions coming in. Thank you guys for the questions. Let's get to these. Do you know Donnie, Coach Donnie? I love how you said it like Batman, like the Batman. Funny enough, Coach Donnie is the only person in the volleyball world that I have never met in my life or have even seen at a tournament. I think I talked about this last stream. I used to live in the Bay Area right next to him, and I grew up watching him. I've never seen him at a tournament. We've never crossed paths. It has been unbelievable. I figured I should have run into him by now. Have not run into him, which is so funny. So I know who he is. I grew up watching him, one of the OG volleyball YouTubers, but have never met him. So that's really funny. And I play at the same gyms he goes to all the time, or same tournaments, just never when he was there. You gotta be one of the most humble and gentle players I've played with. I'll fight anyone who says you're equal. I appreciate you. I try to be as nice as possible. But I feel like I can't say any more, otherwise then it doesn't turn into being humble anymore, right? So I appreciate it. That's a really nice sentiment. Bic is short for back row quick, but the hand signal is the lighter motion. Ah, see? I don't know where that came from. I figured back row quick, but yeah, there's the answer to that. All right, Peter, let's get to your question. Any tips for learning correct arm swing? I can find it awkward leading with elbow and my hand behind my head. Yes. So here's a really important thing. Speaking of things that not many people talk about, that I think is important to talk about, you need to find your own arm swing that makes sense for your body. And what I mean by that is there's many different types of arm swings. It's all a similar motion, right? Like obviously you want to like get your elbow back, but when I was taught growing up kind of how to hit, and I wasn't really taught how to hit too much growing up, hitting was one thing I had to pick up and kind of learn for myself. But I realized everybody hits differently. A lot of people can do like a higher elbow or bring their elbow back nice and high. To me, that feels so weird. I can't do that. So yes, you still want to lead, right, with like your arm being drawn back. We say like the bow and arrow, right? Can I extend myself? What's up? Sorry, I'm a little close now. We talk about the bow and arrow, drawing your arm back, right, to spike or hit the ball, but everyone draws back differently. You don't need to necessarily draw back with your elbow high or your hand behind your head like this, because if that feels weird to you, maybe that's not the most natural thing. So sure, there's a little bit of training of getting the right feel for it, but find the place that feels natural for you. If that's lower, going lower down, some people go more of a circular motion where they draw their elbow down instead of up here. That works too. And don't let anyone else tell you that that's not okay. Sometimes when coaches are training people, they'll say, all right, elbow up, keep your elbow high, hand by your ear, keep your hand here. But then it just feels so unnatural depending on how your arms are built, right? I have skinny, lengthy, like skinny white boy arms. So I can't, when I go higher, it feels pretty unnatural. So I pull back lower and then swing forward that way instead of going a higher elbow. So all I'm saying is try to find what feels the most natural when bringing your arm back. All of it's going to feel unnatural if you're first starting out in general. If you're learning this as a skill, yeah, it's going to feel unnatural. But as you get better and try doing things more, experiment with different things, like a higher elbow, lower elbow, what feels better right off the bat. And whatever you think feels a little bit better, go with that and practice just making sure your arm is still going back. But practice that arm motion instead of necessarily focusing on keeping your hand a certain way. I don't know if that's the best way to answer your question, but this is a hard thing to explain because everyone does it differently, and it's more about finding what works for you. But don't feel pressure to do it just because someone else does it a certain way. As long as your elbow's going back and you're doing that arm swing back, there's a lot of different ways that can work. So that's the tough thing about it. So yeah, that's my main tip. Try a bunch of different things and see what feels the best. Okay. What's up, Lion? How do you deal against a strong team? I got a tourney on the weekend, and we are doing Division 1. Most of them are like either premier or premium players. So a very strong team, I take it. Okay. So the biggest way to go against a strong team, and it's tough, right? It's going against a tough team is mostly mental, I would say. But one thing I've noticed is people tend to usually play better against strong teams than worse. And when I say that is when you play against a strong team, you're kind of forced naturally. You don't even have to think about it to play at the highest level that you play at. And I think that's a really fun and cool thing to look forward to about playing a strong team. But how do you deal against them? So the biggest thing is if we're talking about this from like an IQ point and like a game plan, like strategy on how you beat a strong team, there's a few things you can do. The first one is, why are they a strong team? And this is probably, I was going to say multiple tips, but this is going to be the biggest tip I give. And this is some secret sauce right here. How do you beat strong teams? But this is some of the most secret sauce I can give. In fact, here, get a little closer. Thanks. Okay. So why are they a strong team? And I want you to think about this, right? Like really think about it. Are they good at attacking? Are they just scrappy on defense? Are they really good at defense? Do they have one really good player that's the best player in the league and that's why they win? This is the most important thing, because if you can figure out why they're a strong team, then you can start to figure out how you can plan your strategies around that. So, for instance, if it was they're really good at attacking, like they have strong spikers or people that hit really hard, and that's why they're so good, then your whole game plan is to serve as hard as you can. Serve the ball as hard as possible. Make it really hard for them to get attacks in, or like in-system attacks, right? That's the game plan. Of course, you can always say, well, I'm always going to serve hard, or I'm always going to be doing these things. That's true. But these are the things that you really need to focus on if you truly want to beat a team that's really, really good. If they're really good at defense, but not as good at attacking, you want to limit how many mistakes you make. Because if you're making mistakes and they're good at defense, they're going to be able to keep the ball going as long as you want, and they're basically waiting for you to mess up, right? So your main goal is hit the ball hard, but limit as many mistakes as you can make as possible. And again, that's another thing where it's like, well, don't you always want to limit your amount of mistakes? Yeah, but your main game plan has to focus on one of these aspects to directly, it's almost like countering in like a card game, to directly counter what the other team is. The really easy one is if they have one really good player, you're going to focus all your attention on that player, making sure you always have blockers on them, watching how they hit, seeing the places that they like to hit, things like that. That is really going to come and make an impact against strong teams too. So no matter what it is, you want to find the reason why they're a really good team and then directly counter that if you can. The other thing too is if you can find out their weaknesses. I know this sounds like a Marvel thing, but like some teams have strong weaknesses where one like player is not a good passer. So you want to serve at that person the whole game. Or one player doesn't have a good shot down the line. So you don't need to block on the line. You just focus on the angle. So all those things come into play, but watch the team and see if you can figure out what makes them strong. And if they're a really good team and they have everything that makes them really strong, then yeah, it's going to be very tough, but doesn't mean you can't do it, right? But that's why I say try to focus on one of those things, and that gives you the best chance against a good team. But good teams are going to be good players, and it's going to be hard regardless. So I wish you luck. But yeah, it's always a tall order. But I think it's kind of fun. Especially if the lefty is a setter. Yeah, lefty setters suck. And I mean like they're so good that it like makes me mad. I hate a lefty setter. They're so hard to deal with. Oh my gosh. Okay, what's up, Husky? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the question. I'm not really good. I'm not a really good passer and play in the front row, but when people serve short, I don't know whether to go for it and possibly do a bad pass to setter losing us the point or leave it to the back row. So I assume you're asking for more advice on passing, especially when the serve is short. Just leave it to the back row. Okay. So if you're in the front row, it depends because I assume, what position are you playing, Husky? Are you like in the middle? Are you an outside? You're not a setter. Can you clarify what position you're playing, and then I'll help you out with that. And if not, I'll happily answer that too in a bit. But I want to make sure I know what you're asking so I can help you directly, if that's cool with you. Middle blocker, perfect. Middle blocker, just what I thought. Okay, so middle blocker is strange because sometimes you feel the intention to take it. So here's my advice to you. If you feel confident in your passing, you can absolutely take the ball. But I would say the rule of thumb is, especially if you're not as good of a passer as you mentioned earlier, always leave it for your back row. Always leave it for the back row. That should never be your responsibility to take that ball. And if anyone blames you, they are wrong. And I will say that with 100% certainty. The only caveat is unless the ball goes right to you, like the serve is going short and it's going to land right where you're standing, then yes, take the ball because it's going to land right on top of you. You don't want to like dodge it. You never really want to dodge the ball at the last second because that kind of messes up your team. But unless it's not going directly to you, always let your back row take it. And I think that's a good rule of thumb because that's what the back row is for. They should be ready for that. And that's part of the skill set of being a back row player on serve receive, learning how to pass it. As someone that plays libero and does back row serve receive all the time, it doesn't matter how short the ball is, I will always take it as a libero. I will run up anywhere. I'll run up here, I'll run up here, I'll run up here. I'll run anywhere to pass the ball. And that's part of my responsibility. So I never blame the middle blocker on that. Yeah. I know it's tough. You'd like to want to take the ball, especially if you're like, oh, they're not going to get there in time. But that's something that your serve receive people have to work on. That's not something for you to work on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jolliball. Love the content. Thank you so much, Lion. Thanks for the question. It means a lot. I love answering questions, and I'm glad you love the content. Thanks so much. All right, Peter. How long did it take you to get decent at setting and stop jamming fingers from poor technique? So it took me, I want to say 3 to 4 years. And not because my technique was bad. It's because my fingers were not very strong. I have very thin, skinny fingers. So they would like hurt when I would set, especially when the ball would come from later. I would jam it. So that's a very funny point that you bring up because yes, I dealt with that for a long time. So it took me years. I would say around 3 to 4 years. I started setting around when I was like 11 or 12. And then by the time I was like 15, 16, even though I might not have the strength that I have now, I had enough finger strength at that point to not hurt my fingers as much when setting. So it really depends on, how often you're playing, how strong your fingers are currently. People can get the hang of it really fast. But for me, it took me a couple, like at least 3 to 4 years, I would say, till my fingers were strong. I did finger workouts too. I would just set the ball often to myself. Like I would do this every day, just for fun. And you don't need to make it like a thing where it's like, I'm going to set the ball for an hour a day. You can, that would be great. But when I was home, just every now and then, I would just like pick up the ball and just start setting to myself, right? And I would just do this for so long that eventually my fingers naturally built up strength too that way. Also gymming or doing finger exercises helps, but it naturally just comes with time the more you set too. So it's impossible to say, right? Okay, that makes sense. Yep. Good luck, Husky. How's Jordan today? He's doing great. He's doing phenomenal. He's working on some work right now, but we're finally in the same house together. So we go to open gyms and everything, and that's it's been a lot of fun. My favorite video in your media is the middles can set. Middles can absolutely set. You always got to believe in your middles, dude. Middles are the best setters, better than setters sometimes, and I will die on that hill. Okay. Jonah, what do you think about the new upcoming VNL rules for the lip? Oh my gosh, I have no idea. What are the new, can you quickly like TLDR the new upcoming rules? Unless maybe I heard them, but I'm not sure. Is there something big that's happening for the lip? I know they were trying to get rid of the position at some point, but then I saw that was not happening. That's all I know. Can you let me know? Yeah. Good luck, Peter. Can we see Jordan? I'm his biggest fan. Yeah, once I get him out of work, maybe at the end, I'll get him aboard. But he might actually be away right now. His car, I'm looking out the window. His car is gone, so I'll text him. I'll text him during this. I'll text him right now. And yeah, I'll let you. And yeah, you get to see him. And I'll let me finish. And I'll start another question while I do that. Okay. GG. Yo, undersized middle blocker from Argentina. Do you have any tips on how to get better at the game at a higher level? Yes, and actually we mentioned a little bit about this earlier, but especially if you're undersized, you want to have to be able to commit to the block a lot more. And what I mean by that is right here. So, are you ready for this? Love your vids, by the way. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is you right here, right? This is you, number 5 in the red. Oh, no, actually, this is you because you're from Argentina. So we got to represent the blue flag, the light blue. Not the same blue. I get it. Anyway, so you're in the middle right here, right? You want to get better at just at middle blocker in general, especially if you're undersized. So the biggest thing that I talked about earlier, eye work, okay? Eye work is going to improve your middle blocking ability so much more. So I don't know if you've heard, I know we just talked about this, but I'll just reiterate it again since this is fresh in the stream. Ball setter, ball hitter. So I will play this out so you can see it, and then I'll give a little bit more for undersized blockers as well. But the ball is passed. So your team serves, the ball is passed over here. Again, this is you right here. So the ball is going to the setter. And let's say this guy's hitting, this guy's hitting, this guy's hitting. So as a middle blocker, you are at this point, before the setter gets to the ball, you're looking at where the hitters are. Is the middle already coming out here? Is this guy coming inside? Is this opposite going inside? Is this opposite coming here? You're kind of just scanning to see where your hitters are, but your main goal is you're focused on the other middle, right? You can kind of get an idea of where the other people are, but you're focused on where this guy is. So you're working on your eye work. Okay, setter is about to set the ball. Where is this guy? Is he still here? Is he going for a 3? I want you to be watching this because if you're going to be undersized, you're going to want to stick with your middle as much as possible. Of course, it's great if the set doesn't go to the middle and you can get to one of the other places, but your main concern is the middle, and that's your main focus. So ball, you're watching. Okay, now you watched, you see where all of these players are, you know where they are. The setter is about to set the ball. So the setter sets. I want you to watch immediately where the set is going. Is the setter starting to put it behind them? Is it going in front of them? Like you want to get a gauge of where the set's going, but you don't really want to watch the set the whole way. And I apologize if this is too beginner for you, but I'll give you a better tip after this, but I'm just reiterating the ball setter, ball hitter. The setter sets, all right, you're immediately watching where the ball's going. If it's starting to go this way and it's going high, then you're like, okay, it's probably going to this guy. If it's going a little bit lower, oh, it's probably going to the middle. If they're setting a quick ball like right here, you're already there on the middle. So you're watching where the ball is set. But as soon as the ball is set, regardless of where it goes, I want you to watch back to that hitter again, where that ball is being set. And this is all basic blocking technique stuff. The reason I reiterate all of this and say this is so important is this changes how fast you block the ball. And the reason I say this too, if you're undersized, you need to be faster, as fast as possible at reading where that set is going and to already be jumping and up for it. And this is the biggest thing that's going to differentiate you as an undersize in the middle blocker position on the defensive side. So as soon as you see where that ball is set, you can already line yourself up where the hitter is. And you're not really worried about where the ball is. You're just worried about where the hitter is. So you can line up on that hitter there. It's very hard to explain with my little coach's board right here, but that's kind of the base of it. And as an undersized blocker, you want to be jumping as early as possible to be able to meet the other hitter at the highest point of your jump, pretty much. Because if you're a little late, they're going to be hitting over you more often or hitting around you more often. So the sooner you can get your hands over the net, the better. And that's the biggest thing as an undersized middle, I think, that a lot of people don't really understand, is they have to be there a lot earlier than taller middles who have the ability to kind of just put their hands up really fast and don't need to jump as high to get as strong of a block over the net. So that's the main thing. Another thing that helps with undersize is speed. I'm sure people have watched Haikyuu here, but the biggest thing about Hinata, who's the main character of Haikyuu, and he's a middle blocker, he plays middle blocker in a school league, and I use this as an example, is he's very undersized, so he uses speed. He relies on speed. So whenever you're running plays with a setter, you do not need to be hitting the same quick play in the middle of the court all the time. Work on varying up where the ball is hitting on your attacks. So maybe you can run a plays where the ball is pushed a little bit more this way or pushed a little bit more inside this way. Change where you're attacking the ball from and really practice that with the setter, because that is going to be the biggest difference as an undersize to getting around the block. Last thing I'll say is, if you ever watch my videos, I play with someone called E-Man, who is a very talented and technically undersized middle. He's only about 6'2", about my height, but we run the fastest plays possible because he's fast enough. I can shoot the balls to him either right here when I'm right here, or he can be right here, or he can be right here. He just runs and moves around the court. The more you can move around the court, especially when the middle is taller and slower, you're going to have a better job at competing at higher levels. So that's a bunch of tips. So focus on your block work technique, being able to jump earlier on the block, and then also moving the ball around on the attack. Those are your main 3 goals as an undersize that are going to make you better. In the middle position, yeah, that was a yap fest, but hopefully that helps a little bit. Do you think a setter can make or break a team? By Deathblade King. Yes, 100%. It is like the main thing that, besides middle blocker, I think setter is the main thing that makes or breaks a team, honestly. And it is such an important position. I'm just checking something real quick. Okay, perfect. If you don't have a good setter, I think your team collapses, because it is so impactful to have that setter that can understand where your hitters are good at hitting, and a setter that can read the other team. It's a lot of people compare the setter to the quarterback in football, who's calling the plays and deciding where to set the ball. If you have someone that's not very smart and just setting kind of wherever, your team is going to suffer. The setter is purposely setting the ball places where they see weaknesses on the other side, and that's why it's such a crucial position. So yes, it can absolutely make or break a team. And if they don't have the best hands and then they're not the best at setting, it just makes it harder for everyone too. Yeah. Great question. Gonna take some water. Okay. So speaking back to the new VNL rules for the lib. So only libero 1 is 2 liberos. They were considering letting libs overhand set front row, didn't end up past. Oh, okay. Yes, I did hear about that then. I think if they let liberos set, so just to reiterate, liberos currently cannot set in front of the 10-foot line. So the 10-foot line is this white line on each side of the court, right here, for lack of better, those two lines, that's the 10-foot line. So that separates the back row and the front row. So currently the libero, who wears the different jersey on the team, cannot set in front of that. But they were talking about allowing liberos to set in front of the 10-foot line. And I think that would be the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because if that was the case, then the libero would just be the setter at that point. You would just make your setter the libero and get a free substitution out of it, and then put all your best hitters constantly in the front row. It's almost like running a free 6-2, except you just have all your best hitters in. And I guess there's an argument it wouldn't change things too much, because you could already, you wouldn't be able to hit front row, so your setter would still have to play back row, so it wouldn't change much. But I think it would just kind of ruin the point of the libero position, because then the libero could just kind of be the setter and set from anywhere, and you would just have all these attackers be able to play pretty much. So honestly, it wouldn't impact things too much, but it would give a slight advantage to a libero that has good hands at setting. But I think I think part of the skill of the libero is being able to set behind the 10-foot line, and having that limitation on the libero position. And that's someone who plays libero. As much as I would love to set in front of the 10-foot line, I think it would also be kind of pointless to do so. So yeah. Yeah, crazy rules though, that I feel like they're just throwing rules out there right now. I think there's a lot of better things that they could be doing with the rules, and I could talk about that another time, but I have definitely rules that I think could be a lot better than stuff like that. Okay. Can have two lips registered. Used to only allow one. Okay, got you. I didn't realize that you could have two lips registered too. That could be a good help. I don't see why that's like a good or a bad thing. I know if you have one lib registered, you can only have one libero kind of playing, but I think it's like you put in another guy, you put in a different lib, it's all the same. Like if you have a really amazing libero or two amazing liberos, it's not that much of an advantage that way. Plus in college, they already do that. A lot of teams have multiple liberos that come in and out between serve, receive, defense. Totally fine. Cool. V9. I have a question. For setting, I always have a off, tight, or trap set. How do I fix that? I've been told that I only use my main three fingers and have been fixing that, but they're still wonky. Yeah, that's a tough thing. So the biggest thing is the release point of where you're setting. Of course, you probably know this. You probably know like, oh, it was tight, it was off. It's kind of all over the place. How do I, like, I know what you know what you're trying to do. I don't think I need to tell you, like, don't set there. So the biggest thing is one, when you're first starting out as a setter, or if you're struggling with this, making sure your release is good. I only use my three fingers too. In fact, I can even use two if I need to. Like, this is just, I can even show. My camera's not big enough for this. I need like the wide view, right? You want to focus on how you're releasing the ball. And that's where the majority of the issue comes from. Because when I was first starting to set, one of my hands, it doesn't matter where you're contacting it. You can use three fingers, you can use four fingers, depending on how big your hands are. But the biggest issue is usually people have one hand going slightly different than their other hand. So if I'm setting it and I'm releasing my right hand a little first compared to my left hand, then the balls are going to start to go left and right. And that's where the issue is. You want to keep your ball as straight as possible. And the way setters practice this, and this is probably the biggest thing to work on, don't really need to worry about where you're contacting it, but setting against a wall, I mean, of course, if you can go on a court and just practice setting, that is helpful too. But setting against a wall and just setting over and over and just working on releasing it straight in front of you. You don't want the ball to go left or right. Just practice against a wall, setting bang, 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 bang against a wall. And then you want to slowly back up from the wall. So go further and further back while keeping the set against the wall going. And that really works on your contact point as a setter and keeping it straight. So that's the main thing. You want to make sure your release is straight and you're releasing your hands at the same time. And that's just something that comes with practice, like doing the wall drill or getting practice doing that. Other thing is you want to make sure you're lined up when you're setting on the court. You want to make sure you're lined up and your follow through is to the correct location. That's the other issue. If your release is straight, but your body is turned a little too tight to the net or too off the net, then you're going to start setting off the net more, which is why coaches always say, square up, right? like square up to where you want to set the ball. If you're off the net, you want to square up and set straight. So just to summarize the main two things, work on your setting drills, setting against the wall, working on your release being at the same time and making sure your release is straight is the biggest one. And that is going to be the biggest solution for you, I think, especially if you're struggling with them going left and right, like tight and trap sets. Then the other thing is if that's not working, your release is straight, focus on where you're squaring up, where you're finishing. If you find yourself finishing too tight, too off, then adjust that and keep working on that too. It comes with time. I did that for years. I still do it from time to time where I have a bad set because I don't square up properly, and that's bad on me, right? So I still do it. It happens all the time. But yeah, it's something that happens more when you're starting out, when you're working on your release point. It's a hard skill. It's a really hard skill. Everyone thinks they can set. I feel like it is really a underrated skill for sure. You're also 6'2", 6'3"? No way. Yeah. Love you too. Holy crap. That's so funny. Yeah, that's the perfect height. Yeah, E-Man and you. Undersized middles, but you guys are dangerous. I know it. Nowadays, they say 6'4" middles are considered undersized. What do you think? Yes and no. I think just like an outside hitter, it's okay to have both. Where it's like, sure, I guess compared to a lot of middles, 6'4" is absolutely undersized. But what a lot of teams do now is they have one of each. They have like a taller middle, more powerful middle, and they have a faster, smaller middle. And I think that variation helps teams have more attack options and things that they can do. Same thing for the outside hitters. Like they usually have one big, strong, tall outside hitter, and then a more defensive, better at passing, kind of creative outside hitter, which gives more options in general. So you can say, yeah, it's undersized, but a lot of middles are both now, which I think is super interesting and super cool. But yeah, a lot of teams still just have tall middles too. So it is considered undersized, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's still tall enough to do a lot of damage. Okay. Thank you guys for the questions so much. This has been great. I'm glad we're getting these going. This has been awesome. Yeah, when I first started this stream, it was a little slower. Or I remember I first started and there was like a bunch of people and it was just quiet. And I was like, oh, you guys can ask. It's okay. It's okay. I swear. I won't bite. So I'm glad that y'all are still hanging here and willing to listen to me yap about some questions. It means a lot. Let's keep it going. I'm already losing my voice now. I'll get better at it. I don't know how streamers do this for like 8 hours. When are you playing an outdoors tournament again? I missed those videos. This summer, pretty much all summer. So probably starting next month. So in the next couple weeks, I got a few more indoor videos, and then it's going to be like 3 months of like grass tournaments and videos and things like that. So yes, we're going to be back with the outdoor, and I'm really looking forward to it. In fact, I'm hosting a big tournament, grass, coming up soon too. So that's going to be really, really fun. I haven't told anyone about that yet. But that's going to be with some very special people. So yeah, if you know some other YouTubers, that'll be good. Yeah, I miss those videos too. So we'll be back at it. And like I said earlier, I mentioned this earlier, but grass is my favorite format of volleyball. Just love the skill of it, love the speed. And I think it's always a fun time. And you're very welcome, V9. Yeah, grass videos are so fun. Okay. Doing well. Hopefully you guys are doing well too. Thanks for hanging out, like I said. Also, do you have any left-handed tips? I'm starting to become an ambidextrous hitter because I'm left-handed, but hit it with my right. There's not much I can say, unfortunately, for left-handed hitting tips because I do not know, how to hit the ball with my left hand. So it's you can always say it's the opposite of hitting right. Just kind of do the same thing, but with your left. But I can't even give you tips like that. Could be like the one question that I really couldn't tell you for. The one thing that I think is important to know though for left hands is it's a little bit different in the sense that if you're hitting lefty and you're like hitting on the left side of the court, but you're also and you're hitting lefty, anytime the set or when you're getting set the ball, anytime the ball is going across your body, you have to wait a little bit longer before hitting the ball. You have to let the ball kind of go across your body before you actually hit it. And I think that's a big thing for hitting the opposite arm on the wrong side of the court, if that makes sense. But yeah, I can't. I wish I could tell you more on left-handed hitting, but that is not my expertise, especially with ambidextrous. But one person that did talk about that, I don't know if you've heard of him, but Madison McKibben. He's an AVP beach volleyball player. I think he has a video on how he learned how to hit the ball with his left hand because he injured his right arm at one point and then had to start using his left hand to play. And then he learned how to hit left-handed, and now he's a full ambidextrous hitter. So again, that's Madison McKibben. He does a video on how to do ambidextrous hitting. He might have a video on that. It's from the McKibben brothers, the famous beach volleyball YouTubers from back in the day. But I wish I could help you more. But I'm not going to talk about something that I don't know about, unfortunately. That's going to be like the one thing I probably don't know. Can you buy me tickets so I can go play? I cannot buy you plane tickets. I am broke. You think I'm loaded with money? No, I wish. You can absolutely get free tickets to the tournament if you could make it here. But I wish I could support plane tickets, my friend. Oh my goodness. Please. That'd be great though. You're always welcome. If anyone's visiting from out of the country, you're always welcome to play. I will happily give you free access to tournaments, and I'm saying that for the people like in this chat, 100%. If you're from out of country, I'll help out with like the actual tournament. Feel free to join anytime. Where is our how-to elbow of doom video in progress? Oh, so what I'm doing is next week I'm renting out a gym, and I'm going to film a bunch of tutorial videos, and that will be included in there. So it's funny you say that. We will get the elbow of doom tutorial soon, but I think if that is my most popular video, I don't know what to do at that point. But yeah, it's coming soon. We just need to rent out the gym and film the tutorials. So that'll be a next week thing for me. But yeah, I want to do a whole tutorial drill series, kind of like Coach Donnie did, but maybe things that no one else has done yet, like I guess elbow of doom, coming soon. Do you think, and Peter, do you think it'd be bad for my muscle memory to play beach when I don't have my indoor spiking approach down? Not really. Beach is such a different approach than indoor. It's almost like two different skill sets that they don't really correlate. The thing is if you keep switching back and forth while you're learning, it does get a little hard because you have to keep mentally switching which one you're doing. So there is some differences there, but the approaching is so different if you're being taught properly how to approach in beach compared to indoor that they're not really going to clash, if that makes sense. They're both a little bit different. So the only thing I'd say is like, yeah, you might want to wait to get one of those approaches down before you do the other one. But I honestly think you can do both. I think it's fun to learn both. So don't stop yourself from learning. Absolutely. But yeah, do realize that the approaches are different. You're not going to be doing an indoor approach on the beach. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, I learned that the hard way. Yeah, I would love to meet you as well. Yeah, there's so many people that have been talking like from like out of state, out of country that I've been talking with. And I think it's so cool that there's people all across the world that I'm like, dang, I would love to meet those guys. How's the volleyball scene in Argentina? Is it pretty big? Because I would love to travel and play more volleyball in general. And I'm being dead serious. If I can afford it one day, yeah. Oh, yeah, and if you have to go, no worries. But thanks for hopping in and asking some questions. Thanks for hopping in. And for those still in the chat, I've been trying to monitor. Yeah, I'll be streaming for the next little bit, probably till like for the next 25 minutes or so. So any questions that you have that you would like to ask, feel free to keep asking. I'll be here for the next little bit, always around. At the paintbrush series, oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can explain how to do that. A lot of the skills that I do, especially on Jolly that you see, are not stuff you should practice or like stuff I can explain. I just kind of do it. I think, yes, I can absolutely, I know you're joking about, or like half joking about the tutorials and stuff, but they're like tutorials that I don't even know how to do tutorials for, if that makes sense. The biggest thing I can say when doing weird stuff is I'm so used to just doing like touching the ball a lot and like hitting it up and down, hitting it with different parts of my body, and that's literally how I got better at doing random skills. So the Metro Liga is good, but compared to the university level there, it's nothing. Interesting. Okay, that's really good to know. Well, good night. I'll happily see you again sometime soon on another stream, probably next week. So yeah, good talking with you. But yeah, paintbrush. Because paintbrushing is kind of like letting your hand go loose, like floppy, and hitting under it at the same time so it rolls. That's a fun skill. The reverse paintbrush is good too, doing it backwards. Yeah, not really stuff I know how to explain, but I'll give it my best. For Elbow of Doom, I will absolutely do that. Dude, and it's so funny that like whenever I do like an elbow at a gym, people will shout Elbow of Doom now. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that the name sticks. That's funny. That's really good. But I still love doing it. Have you ever gotten an injury from volleyball that you needed to take time off for? Yes and no. I've never actually been seriously injured playing volleyball. The only one that I've needed to take time off for, and I guess I kind of lied, my thumbs. I've sprained both of my thumbs and this finger multiple times. Both from someone stepped on my thumbs when I tried a pancake once, but also mainly from blocking or the ball hitting me nice and weird. So I did need to take like a few weeks off, but the thing with sprains is you need to take a really long time for them to recover. And my thumbs never really recovered from it because I think they told me I need like 18 months to really heal it, but I'm not gonna like, I've just ended up being more careful when I play. So I don't really press with my thumbs anymore, and I can still play, but I limit how I play. So for instance, if you ever see me do serve receive, and I think this is maybe an important thing for the people that don't know, whenever I serve receive the ball, I never use my hands, or I don't play defense with my hands ever. And that's because my thumbs are sprained. So if I hit the ball too hard or like pass a serve receive with my hands, I'm going to sprain my thumbs again, probably like really hurt them. So I do everything with my platform, just with passing. That's why I pass everything and I don't use my hands at all. So yeah, that is kind of my main injury that limits how I play currently. But besides that, yeah, no other serious injuries. But I do hate having like my thumbs so weak because I'm able to set and play setter. That's probably the max limit. But if I ever play defense or anything, I can't set the ball. I just have to pop it up. Like that's how I play. Like that's the only thing I can do. So it does suck in that regard. Yeah. You need to sleep too. Good night. Good night. Good night. Yeah, it's in California at least. It's almost 7 o'clock. But for East Coast time, yeah, it's getting late. So yeah, maybe I'll start streaming a little earlier too. I'm gonna kind of vary them. But yeah, good night to everyone that needs to go to bed. Again, I'll be on for the next 20 minutes. So thanks. Keep the questions coming. But thanks for the people coming and asking questions. Love that we can come and go. That's what I love about live streams. It's just like, it feels like office hours. You can just come in, hang out, leave whenever, join whenever. It's great. No commitment. It's so good. Yeah. Any other questions you guys have right now? It could be anything. Doesn't have to be just volleyball strategy. It could be volleyball. It could be life, whatever you need. We can do some therapy. That's good. That's how the streams could go at some point, you know? That's so funny. Oh, yeah. Got the Jolly Ball hat, too. See? The reveal. Didn't see that one coming. Oh, man. It's been such a good stream. I'm glad we got people asking questions and talking. It makes me so happy. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for keeping the questions coming, Peter. You've been awesome for that. Okay. Is the arm swing for a float serve identical to a regular topspin, but the contact is different? That's a good question. I need to think about that for a second. I would say no, because I feel like a topspin, your arm's a little bit looser. You're not as tight with your arm because you're letting your arm kind of whip more for a topspin serve, kind of like a spike. But for a float serve, I would say your arm's a little bit tighter. And this is just, I don't have like stuff to back me up on this. This is just like a general feeling, quote unquote. So don't take this too directly. But when I'm float serving, my hand is not really too loose like I'm spin serving. I have a little bit of tightness in my elbow and arm. So when I hit it, it can kind of like, I kind of clench or kind of tighten it so I can hit it flat. Like I'm clenching kind of these muscles here. It's not loose. It's not loose and floppy like a spin serve. I'm clenching a little bit to smack it more. So yeah, it's a slightly different. You're still kind of pulling back and doing your swing, but I just feel like for a spin serve, I'm kind of going all the way back and really just whipping it. For a float serve, I'm a little bit more controlled. My elbow's going back, but I'm not whipping the full way through. I'm kind of tensing a little bit and just popping forward. So yeah, the answer is yes. It's a slightly different arm swing. It's more of a feeling. When are you planning your grass tournament roughly? July. It'd be around July. It'd be after the Bad Boys Open, if you know what that tournament is. Yeah, it'd be around that time. I don't think it would be before. I think it'd be after, for sure. I would not try to do the tournament the same time as another big tournament. It'd fit in its own slot, ideally. Don't want to compete with anyone, of course. Thanks for answering them. You don't get many opportunities to ask about the small things. Absolutely, Peter. And I think this is like a great place to ask like small questions like that, which is great. Which is why I want to do these streams for. So yeah, please keep asking anything from big questions, small questions, anything like that. Yeah. But cool. Yeah, I feel like I've talked my mouth off. I'm winded already. Oh my gosh. I need to up my like velocity of these streams. This is good. Yeah, there's got to be like some sort of like volleyball game or something. I've always wanted to play. Like I know there's like the the Roblox ones, but I hope they invent like a volleyball game soon. It just wouldn't. I know they would say it wouldn't make money, but I feel like it would make some money. Kind of like your NBA games or like your NFL, like your 2Ks and what your Maddens. A volleyball one would be. I just don't know how a volleyball game would work. I don't know why I was thinking about a volleyball game. I just think like the act of streaming and how there's streamers that play like sports games and open card packs and all that stuff. What would a volleyball game look like? Like how would that play? That'd be really interesting. Well, I'll ask someone to make a volleyball game, and then they better put the elbow of doom in there, and that would be great. And then we're all set. And the backwards block. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Just joining us again. We've been streaming for almost a couple hours now. Gonna end the stream in a little bit. It's been a good day. But feel free to ask any last questions that you have about volleyball, any advice. We've gotten some great questions already, and it's been super fun. So yeah, looking forward to any more questions that you guys have. If not, feel free to just hang and I'll just yap. You know, the usual. Don't threaten me with a good time. Thanks, Peter. I appreciate the questions as always. Did you always want to be a lib, or did it just turn out that way? Funny enough, I always wanted to be a lib. And I told this last stream, but I'll tell the story again. So, for those that don't know, which I don't know how many people, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. So, my dad was a professional libero for Team Canada and played like World League as a libero. So, kind of taking after him when I was first learning how to play from my dad, and my mom also played. My mom was a setter. My mom and dad kind of both showed me like, kind of the ropes of volleyball, but I looked up to my dad a lot in his volleyball because I knew he was a libero, and I was like, I want to do that too. So just because of him, I always wanted to be a libero from there. So when I tried out and everything, I was like, ooh, that would be cool. Plus, I just wanted to wear the different jersey. I'm like, I want the attention on me. Ironically, libero is probably like the least amount of attention. Besides the different jersey color, it's probably the least noticeable position, funny enough. But ever since I joined my first team, I kind of started as a libero setter right off the bat, and then played libero pretty much my whole way, and even past college too. Played libero. I fell in love with it. Oh my gosh, I loved it. Because for me, it reminds me of like being a goalkeeper in soccer. I did play soccer growing up, even though I didn't get to play. I always wanted to be goalkeeper. They never let me, even though I was nasty. I was a good goalkeeper. Libero, I appreciate the position so much, and a lot of people hate it or they think it's so boring, but I love it so much, mostly because you would think like if I've played it my whole life, that would get boring, but I was able to take the position to like the highest level possible, and really get analytical with how I played it. And it just got more and more fun as I got better too, where the best feeling in volleyball for me is when someone hits it really hard and you dig it. Like, it is the best feeling in the world for me. I'm like, wow, you just thought you were going to score a point like that, and I was able to keep it up. It's so fun. It's so cool. But reading the hitters and just stopping them from scoring points, that is the most fun I have playing volleyball. Just my only responsibility being keeping the ball alive. That's why I have so much fun with it. And then, as I mentioned just a second ago, as you get better and better at libero or play libero at higher levels, the game changes a little bit. You're playing more like IQ and like reading people and trying to stop things from happening and doing things a certain way. And to me, it is still the most fun I have playing volleyball when I'm back playing defense and reading where the hitters are going and watching and really working on my IQ. And I have so much fun with it. It's hard to explain, but other people love hitting it hard, blocking, even setting, right? Setting different players. But to me, just it's the most fun. Still to this day, I will always play libero, like indoor. I love it. Yeah. But I did need to learn how to hit and do the other skills, which I'm still working on. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind on that stuff, right? But it's kind of evened out. I'm happy that I'm really good at serve receive and defense in general. Did you ever have a dream of going pro since your parents played also? I thought about it at one point. Like when I was younger, I was like, do I want to play volleyball as my career? It's something I thought about pursuing, but this was probably like high school was the last time I thought about it. And the truth is I fell in love with like the entertainment industry, like music, movies, all that stuff. And I kind of discovered that as I got older, I wanted to do entertainment stuff more than I wanted to play volleyball. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So yeah, maybe at one point I thought about it, but I never really was confident in those thoughts. I never really was 100% certain where I was like, yes, I want to play pro. I have to do this one day. Like I never had those intent. Even D1 volleyball, I never really wanted to. It was kind of weird. I know that's like a coping thing people say sometimes. They're like, I didn't want to play D1 anyway. But like, it didn't really interest me in a weird way. Like I loved playing volleyball for fun and like high level, but I didn't really want the competition of playing on a team and that being my only thing that I do for a living. I much preferred the entertainment industry stuff. So all the film and music stuff that I do now, that is kind of where my heart is for like my main stuff. But clearly I have a volleyball YouTube channel. I do a lot of volleyball, but I think the main thing about the YouTube channel is it's all fun. Like there's no responsibility. There's no pressure to win, play higher, do any of that. And that's where I have the most fun playing volleyball. I'm playing with the best people in the world. As I mentioned earlier, I'm playing with people that I have so much fun playing with. I love meeting people, bonding over volleyball. It's a community. I always hate using the word community because it always feels cheesy, but it really is. You meet the best people, and sometimes the worst people, but that's part of it too, just like with anything. And that's where I have the most fun playing volleyball. So great question there. But that's where I'm at with volleyball. Doesn't mean I'm not trying to get better or I'm giving up, but yeah, I play for fun as the main thing. And if it's not fun, then I don't want to play, kind of thing. But tournaments and competition is fun, so we'll keep doing those. Great question. What's your favorite movie theater here in SD? I don't have a favorite movie theater yet. I love watching movies. I've just been going to the local theater right next to me, without doxing myself. But it's just a Regal theater. So I generally like Regals over AMC's just because both have the reclining chairs and like all that stuff now, but I've always grown up with the Regals. But I do like the theater at Tustin from OC. I'm from the OC area initially, so the Tustin theater is great. It's massive. That's a great theater to hang out in. And the one at UCI was actually really pleasant. The UC Irvine theater at UTC. I need to know, is there a good theater in SD that you prefer? I'm watching The Back Room soon. I'm going to watch Obsession. I might watch the new Mandalorian, even though I hear it's all right. We'll see. Peter, yeah, I really appreciate the volleyball content, especially since there isn't a lot of English volleyball content compared to every other sport. Oh, really? Oh, is there more like international volleyball? I didn't know that. Now that you say that, I don't know too much volleyball content. I don't know if you watch Volley Guys. I mean, their stuff is more niche because they do their own type of. They're more like almost like a game show. That's how I describe it. They have more like kind of. It's not really like playing like volleyball, but MK3 is another big one. You got Makuro, who's phenomenal to play, watch out of system. So there's a couple, but there's not too many. Coach Donnie. I'm trying to think of other volleyball. Tyler, he's more social. I don't really see him on YouTube as much. I'm trying to think of other volleyball YouTubers that play in English. But yeah, you're right. There's not too many right now, which is cool. I mean, I'm glad that there's a niche for it. It's always nice when other people are posting and making volleyball content. So I always appreciate it. Love that other people do it. And that's why I also try to figure out how can I do content as a volleyball YouTuber without doing the same thing as everyone else, where everyone's going to be playing volleyball. So not much I can do there, but how much can I help out or do different things to at least be entertaining in my own way where I'm not just doing the same thing, right? The Poway AMC, heated recliners, and they deliver food to the recliner. You're kidding. Was it like $30 a ticket? No, I mean, half joking, but that sounds amazing. That sounds like the place I want to watch a horror movie. Like right when there's a jump scare, you order food to your chair, and then you force them to enter the movie theater during the scary part. Ooh, would love to do that. That's great. That sounds awesome, though. Cool. We'll be wrapping up the stream shortly, so please, if you have any last questions, even if you're just hanging out in the chat all day, again, appreciate you for just hanging out, but feel free to put any last questions in now. I'll make sure to answer them, and then that'll be today's stream. That was a good one. Did a couple hours today. Feels good. Maybe we'll do a weekend stream. Maybe a weekend stream will be the move one of these days. Great prices and not very crowded. Poway, got you. We'll do it. And to answer someone's question from earlier, forget who asked, Jordan is in fact out right now, so we'll get him later. We'll get him for the next stream. Peter, thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate you asking so many questions. Meant a lot as well. So enjoy your time. I appreciate you. Gotta go to the Poway Theater. Oh my gosh. That sounds awesome. That sounds like the place I want to be. Jolly ball. Cool. If there's no last question, I'll give another minute because I know there's a stream delay. But send in any last questions now. Anything that you would like. And if not, I will close out. I should do like a little speech or something. I'm kidding. Did you guys get for anyone that's still in here that was talking, did you guys get any like ads during the stream? I was curious. And were there too many? Because if there's too many ads, I'll cut back. I just turned on like just general ads to see how it went. But if it's too much, I don't want to be annoying with it, obviously. I asked this last time too. Okay. How do you feel that Hawaii won the championship this year? Have you played in Hawaii? So, I hate that Hawaii won. Well, no, I love that Hawaii won. They deserve it. I went to UC Irvine, and I've been waiting for UCI to just have a chance, just a chance one of these days. And they did, but UCI played all right. They played well. I think they played decent, but yeah, I really wanted to see UCI win because I'm biased. I'm a fan of UCI, obviously. But yes, Hawaii totally deserves it. They played great. They played out of their minds the last two sets too. So that was wonderful. So love Hawaii and totally think they deserve it. Sakanoko deserves it 100%. And Rosenthal or Tread. Yep. I think I said his last name. Sorry if I butchered his last name. Yes, I've played in Hawaii. I did a tournament in Hawaii last year. Then I played a Hawaii Open Gym and they hated me. oh my God. Because I was doing all these like weird stuff, and I think they thought I was like disrespecting them. But it's just also how I play. So I felt kind of bad, but it was a lot of fun. There's some really nice people in Hawaii. And the volleyball there is great. Yes, well, more grass tournament info coming soon. Zach, love your stuff. Thank you so much. Any advice on spacing when hitting ones in the middle? I feel like I'm always too tight to the net and have to reach back. Absolutely. And I hate to say it almost like it's obvious in an obvious way. I promise I'm not making fun. But let me go over it real quick and let me minimize myself so you can see. Okay. So this is you in the middle, right? Biggest thing is if you feel like you're overrunning it, there's two things you can do. One, start your approach when you're getting off the net to approach. Again, this is you right here. When you're approaching the ball, start your approach from further back. Of course, I can say don't run as tight to the net, but the biggest thing is a lot of middles don't approach all the way. So when they do their approach, they just end up so tight to the net. So start your approach really, really far back, as far back as you need, because everyone has different lengths of legs and how far their legs can carry them or how long their legs are. So you want to try to find a spot where you're kind of jumping more around here than right next to the setter. And that will naturally help with your timing. And then also feel free to slow down on your first step. A lot of middles like to go really fast to the one, which is great, but you want to also watch when your setter is setting the ball. So it's okay to be patient on that first step. And I think, of course, approaching from further back, but also just being patient on your first step helps so much. Because when you're patient on your first step, then you can really find your tempo and rhythm and get behind those balls a lot easier when you're not rushing it and going too tight as well. So it's a combination of being more patient on the first step, but also starting your approach and transitioning even further back. And it doesn't need to be straight back. You can also approach more from an angle like that too. But wherever you can get more distance, that will help overrunning the ball too. Just something to practice. But those are the main two reasons why people overrun the ball, is they're not approaching from far enough or they're going too fast. And that's how they mess up ones usually. Yeah. Iron industry. What is your who's your favorite player? Jania Grebennikov, the France libero. He's been playing forever now, but I grew up watching him and I still watch him. The fact that he's been playing at that level for so long, insane. He's insane. I modeled my playstyle off of him. I just studied his film, and that's how I kind of learned how to play elite libero, just watching him. And he can do things that no one else can. I just love his playstyle, love how he plays, and he's so entertaining to watch in the libero position. So yeah, Jania Grebennikov, he's the France libero, and he's still amazing at, I think he's probably like 40 now, maybe late 30s. He is still amazing, and he's been playing forever. Took my son to watch the Big West at UCI in the Final Four at UCLA. Great experience. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. I was at the UCI Ball State game, so I was there too. So maybe we were at the same crowd, but it was so much fun. The energy was so nice, and I loved it so much. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed it. So I'm glad you and your son had a great time. It sounds like I don't know if you saw the finals, maybe just Final Four, but yeah, the energy was great. And the Hawaii Long Beach game was great after that too. So such a good experience. And I just wish there was more volleyball like that, because it's such a good environment when there's that energy, and it just feels different and just exciting. And it's such an exciting sport to watch. Truly, I will die on that hill. It's one of the most exciting sports to watch live, especially when you're right there. Just the power and speed. It's great. Glad you had a great time though. Okay, what do you think of Jordan Lucas's celebrations? And maybe we'll end on this one. Unless anyone has any last questions, happy to answer any last stragglers. But what do you think of Jordan Lucas's celebration? Speaking of stuff that happened at UCI, without throwing shade on him, wasn't planning on it, of course. You love his celebrations. Yeah, so it's a tough topic, right? Because I actually never really gave an opinion on the Jordan Lucas situation at all. And there's not really much more I think I have to say that no one else has already said. But to give my perspective on it, the first thing is the announcer should not say anything like that, regardless of what the announcer meant. The announcer shouldn't say anything. If we're talking about like the controversy with Jordan Lucas first, which is important to talk about. Announcers shouldn't say anything like that, regardless of the celebration, regardless of how flamboyant or extreme the celebration is. Of course, I don't know what I see his celebrations on TV. I don't know what he's saying or anything like that either. So I can't speak to that. I think his celebrations are fine. I think if there's a problem that the referee has with his celebration, then maybe that's something for the ref to talk to him about if it's too far or too much. But from what I've seen, it just seems like a celebration. I've seen people trash talk all the time. So it just seems like every other like celebration, I guess. Maybe people are pissed off by it for whatever reason, but I think it's completely fine unless he's saying something under the net. But then if he is, then that's for the ref to say, right? Or the ref to hold back if people are saying like inappropriate stuff. As far as the actual celebration themselves, they're great. I think it's great for volleyball to have crazy celebrations and to really enjoy the points regardless of what the celebrations look like, right? So I think that's the big distinction. Really. Like if you're saying shit to people on the net, that's one thing, that's for the refs to control, just like in soccer or in any other sport. But as far as celebrations, they're celebrations. Who gives a crap, right? So love them too. They're fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with it at all. There's no shade. Yeah, like baseball and the bat flip. If you don't like it, then play better so they can't celebrate the way they do. Exactly, right? Like there's celebrations. I love trash talk in volleyball, like someone staring down a block or what Jordan does where he gives like the wave or stuff like that. It's just like any other sports. So yeah, that's basically all there is to the situation. I don't think there's anything more that needs to be said pretty much on that situation. But yeah, you're all for it. Yeah, I'm all for celebrations as well. I think they deserve to celebrate a point. You deserve to celebrate a point, right? And as long as you're not like directly like saying something like messed up to the other players during the game, that's like outside of that celebration, then yeah, you're chilling. But yeah, there's a reason there's refs there too watching that. It happens in basketball, any other sport, as we've established. So that's my take on everything. Not too exciting of a take. I think it's pretty black and white. Or I mean, yeah, I don't know what other people I saw a little bit, but again, it's a celebration. So volleyball needs more celebrating and more stuff like that in general, personally, regardless of what it is. Because yeah, I feel like people get pretty soft sometimes. So it's there, and that's my take on the whole situation. But yeah, I feel like that's another topic for another time too, to ask other people what they thought. Now that it's, I don't know how long ago the whole situation happened, but yeah, that's where I am. And yeah, nothing else to say. But yeah, I remember playing against Jordan back at like 2020, 2021, and he was always doing stuff like that. So it's nothing new too. When I played against him in open gyms and stuff, same thing, right? No one complained about it then, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's any last questions, happy to answer. But with that being said, I think it's been a great stream. Oh my gosh. What, 2 hours? Not bad. It's getting dark finally. It is still so hot. I'm drinking water. Like I said earlier, I was sweating the whole time. So it's been good. But yeah, we will probably end there then. I think that's a good stopping point. I need to get better at finding a rhythm to being like, okay, last question, and then 10 more people ask, and I'm like, oh, I got to answer all these. But no, this is a great stopping point. So again, if you're in the stream, thank you again. Even if you're just hanging out, I truly mean it. Just stopping by the stream and getting some volleyball advice, talk, anything. We talked about literally anything and everything today, which has been awesome. And I prefer it that way. There's nothing off the table, and I think it's all good to talk about. So thank you again for hopping in the stream. It means a lot to me. And I will be streaming again next week. I'll try to find a more consistent schedule, but I think I'm going to be doing around the same time, maybe earlier, might be better. I'm trying to get a gauge on where people are. But this might be a good time to do it in the future as well. So thank you again for hopping in. It means a lot. And I'll talk to you guys soon, but appreciate you all for now. Thanks for hopping in. And I will end in a second. Let me make sure I'm closed out. Perfect. Okay. And one there. Peace out, Jolly Ball.